Okay, back where I left off at, I'm going to show you the hookups now. Okay, right here, if I can get this cable right here, this is your 6-tail RCA AV cables for use with the back of the Neo-Geo CD console. I really like these cables because it gives you arcade quality sound. The other end of this is the same. So there was really no point in showing that. Why'd I even show that? I don't know. But anyway, if you have RCA cables for your Neo Geo CD and they're broken, you can just pick a new setup at Radio Shack. They sell them at a place like Radio Shack or just some kind of electronics store. Whatever floats your boat. Anyway, and I actually consider this pretty much for a consider this a little too much for a AC adapter. This is the AC adapter, SNK AC adapter. This is model number POWCD -J, and yes, this Neo Geo CD console is a Japanese import. I forgot to mention that. So pretty much some of the text will be in Japanese, and I have yet to translate that. I apologize. Anyway, it says AC 100 volts, DC 10 volts. And I think it says it uses 5 on the console. I'm not sure, but anyway, it shows that. Here's your here's the tip of the power cord. Sorry for that long pause there. Now this cord has a bit of a tight fit on the back of the Neo Geo CD, but it fits in okay. But when you try and pull it out, it's a little bit hard. And this is the back of it. But this is a Mother Batman sized power adapter. It reminds me of something from a ColecoVision, where it takes up, the whole outlet. Anyway, let me go ahead and set my camera back, because I'm going to show you something about the controller. Anyway, this is the controller right here. Here's the controller tip. Like I said, it's the same as a Atari 5200 controller tip. Anyway, this is the controller that comes with. Now, this is a Model 3 controller. It was sold along with the Neo Geo CD. It was packed in with it, and people really don't like this controller because they hate the button layout and so forth, which makes this controller really underrated. And I don't really see any problem with this controller. I mean, you've got a good arcade smooth joystick right here. I really like this joystick. It reminds me of something on the Neo Geo Pocket Color. But the only difference is that the Neo Geo Pocket Color joystick is a little smaller. But anyway, you've got your start button, select button. Interesting thing, start is just used to, start the game and so forth, when it says like press start, just press start and so forth, and it starts the game on that, for that player. Select is not really used for anything else other than to pause. Really interesting. And then you got your A, B, C, D buttons. And this is actually not bad for a button layout when it comes to the controller. However, sometimes I have a problem when fighting games, where it doesn't call for, in any fighting games, for A and D to be pressed simultaneously, but sometimes it will call for C and B to be pressed simultaneously, and sometimes, where my thumb is a little bit big, I accidentally press down the A button as well, or the D button right here, and basically you have to have, I don't know, your thumb like this, and try and set an angle in it and try and press it without having to press the A or D buttons. That's the only problem I have with the controller. I don't understand why it's so underrated. Then again, the whole console is underrated. And I just don't know why people keep bashing on this console for how bad it is. But anyway, this is the other controller basically the same thing. And then I'm going to show you the games that I'm going to be reviewing. First of all, Puzzle Bobble, which is basically a bust move in the U.S. Mutation Nation, my favorite beat 'em up game. This is a great game. Garou Densetsu 3 or Fatal Fury 3. And the King of Fighters 96. Okay, so I'm going to plug this thing up, show you some of the games, and well, I'll see you here in a moment. Okay, I've got the system set up, and I'm going to, first of all, show you what happens when you turn it on without a game inserted. It does have a BIOS screen, and I will show you what it looks like. Okay, that's the Neo-Geo CD boot-up screen. It's about as flashy as the standard Neo-Geo cartridge-based loading screen, you know, when you boot it up. Okay, that's in Japanese. I do not know what that says yet. But, you know, if anyone wants to translate it, feel free to. I would gladly welcome anyone who would want to translate any Japanese language that's on any video game that I'm playing. I'm still working on learning the language, so I don't really know what it says yet. But anyway, this is your BIOS screen, and it's basically set up like a virtual CD player. And yeah, you can play audio CDs on this. Rock out with your System of Down CDs or Linkin Park CDs. But anyway, or your Christian music CDs. But anyway, I'm going to show you what the memory option does here. Yes, this console has built-in memory. No memory card required. I love that. Okay, but anyway. Okay, this is entirely in Japanese too. I have no idea what it says, but I do know what each of them do. Okay, number one is format. Number two, it just it shows what kind of games are saved in memory. Number three is well, you can delete you know, the memory in your you can delete a file, you know, delete a game data. But anyway, number four, that's to rename a file, and since this console is Japanese, you can only rename it in Japanese. And number five is basically end or exit. But anyway, a little minor note here. If you do have a new Neo Geo CD console, you need to choose the format option first, because it will not save data properly if you try to save data on a new Neo Geo console without formatting. So you have to format. Which I didn't know if mine was new or used. I figure it was used, but I went ahead and formatted it when I first had it. But anyway, I'll show you what number two looks like. That's the kind of data that I have on memory right now. King of Fighters 96 team mode, King of Fighters 97 team mode, and Art of Fighting 3 Path of the Warrior. But anyway, this is to delete files and so forth. But anyway, and then it goes back to your boot up screen. And yeah, I like this about as well as the boot up screen on a Neo Geo cartridge based console. Okay, but anyway, let me turn this off. I'm going to go ahead and review some of the games. So I'm going to have to split this into another part, and I'll see you here in a bit.